Wow. Fuck. Why does this keep happening? This is a painting that my mom painted for me. Isn't it beautiful? It's a painting of me. I forgot to bring a mirror over here. If my hair looks crazy, it is what it is. Anyway, what up, y'all? It's Brooklyn Jones. If you don't know who I am, that's okay. I'll tell you. I am Brooklyn Jones. I'm a comedian who is currently living in Los Angeles. I'm from New York, but when I was living in New York, born and raised, my house burned down. Well, not my house, but my apartment. My apartment building burned down, and I literally was starting from the bottom. So I decided to start from the bottom in a new place. So here I am in LA, following my dreams as a stand-up comedian, sharing my knowledge so far of how to become a comedian, what it's like being a comedian in LA, an up-and-coming comedian in LA, and just sharing my life. And I know some of you are like, well, who the hell are you? Why should we care about your life? Because some of y'all are mean, and I know y'all think that way. Why you gotta be so mean on the internet? But you know what? Your people will find you. So this is for my people. And there's a lot of people out there living in other places who wish they could move to LA. You know, they have dreams and they're like, man, I wish I could move to LA and become a comedian or an actor. I wonder what that's like to move there in a place that you don't know and start over. So I'm showing you and telling you what it's like to move to a place that you don't know and start over. I got lucky because when I moved here, I already had friends. I had a nice little foundation of friends. Okay, now everybody's here. I'm out here with my girls. That's Sharana. Shanice. Oh, is that Shanice? Oh, wait. Hi. These are my girls. Okay, when I tell you that when I moved to LA, these girls were here for me through everything. Like these. We love you. Thank you. I love you guys too. They have been there for me through everything. You know, I didn't do any of this by myself. I wouldn't be here without y'all. Yeah. I got lucky. When I got here, I already had friends, and they really looked out. These are my girls right here. New York girl. Yep. New York to LA. New York to LA. They were there for me from the bottom through the thick and thin. After the fire, coming up here smelling like smoke, like they were here for me. These are my girls. We're out here having lunch on the Sunset Strip, having us a good time. I love you guys. That was a blessing for me because a lot of people say, man, it's really hard in LA and it's really lonely and it's hard to meet people and it's hard to make friends. And that's actually not true. I know you're going to say, easy for you to say you already have friends, but that's beside the point because beside the friends I already had, I made a lot of friends when I moved out to LA. It's really not hard to make friends. All you got to do is go places with like-minded individuals. So go places where people are doing what you like to do. So since I'm a comedian, I was going to a lot of comedy clubs and a lot of comedy shows and a lot of places where comedians hang out. So of course, I got to meet and mingle and get to know a lot of comedians. So I know a lot of comedians. Now, I will say that just because you know a lot of people doesn't mean that they're your friends. Every comedian I know is not my friend. Clearly, I know that. We're peers. So it's kind of like your coworkers. You know how you have your friends at work? The other comedians are like that. Like some of them, you know, I might get a little closer to and consider them a friend. But overall, a lot of the people are like peers, comrades, homies. Aside from that, I took a liking of acting because as a comedian, you can't just be a comedian. You have to do something else. And most comedians also act. So I started taking acting classes. And let me tell you something. Acting classes, especially if you find the right one, you'll find a lot of friends at acting class because you're there several times a week. So you really get to know each other. And the acting class that I go to, Anthony Gilardi Acting Studio. What's up, Anthony? What's up, coach? Is like a family. Like that school is so close knit. Everybody is like very supportive. It's it's not catty and competitive and backstabby like a lot of people think that acting classes or actors are. It's very supportive. It's a network. And people become friends. Some people have met and got married in that class, but that's a story for another time. But I know at least like 3, maybe even 4 couples that met in my acting school and got married. So if you're looking for your boo, you might want to come to my acting class. But besides that, it's very supportive. So if you need somebody to read with you, if you need a reader, you can find somebody in the acting class. A lot of my acting classmates are filmmakers, so a lot of times they cast within the studio before they branch out and look for actors on acting websites and stuff. So you can definitely make friends in LA. You just have to go where the people are who do the things that you like to do. The people are out there. You can make friends easily. Maintaining friendships is hard, but that's work. Because the thing is, like, a lot of people in LA are really busy, so it's hard. So a lot of times you're like, oh, let's get together on Thursday, and then Thursday comes and goes and you never see that person, and that was in July. Next thing you know, it's October and you still haven't hung out. So that's the hard part. Like, a lot of people are really busy, so sometimes it's hard to link up, but it's not impossible to make friends, and it's not as lonely as you think it is. You just have to put in effort and go outside. You gotta go outside. The internet is actually underrated for friendships, because I've made some good friends on the internet. You could definitely make friends on the internet, but if you want them to be your real friend, you still gotta go outside. So don't just be sitting in the house all the time. If you want a friend, you gotta go outside. So you want to be a comedian. I know a lot of people are like, man, I want to be a comedian. And comedians make it look so easy that everybody wants to try it. Like, every time I get off stage, so many times people have come up to me like, I've always wanted to try comedy. I should give it a try. And I ain't no hater, so I never say, nah, it's too hard or you ain't cut out for it. I always say, go for it. Because comedy will let you know if you can do it and if you can't do it. So don't let me be the one to tell you if you can or can't do it. I always say, go for it. Go try it. Because when you get on that stage, you'll know if it's for you or not. The time you do it, when you get off that stage, you'll either be like, yeah, that wasn't it. I'm never doing that again. Or you'll get bit by the bug and be like, oh my God, that was so much fun. It was exhilarating. It was a thrill. I need to do it again. Like, if you really love it and you get bit by the bug, going on stage feels almost like getting on a roller coaster. It's the same kind of feeling, because like before you get on stage, you're like anticipating it, you're nervous, you're kind of, oh my God, why did I agree to do this? And then you get on stage, and that's like when you get right to the top of the roller coaster, and then you're on stage and you're crushing it, and the people are laughing and they're loving you and you're loving them, and you're sharing energy with the crowd, and that's the big drop, and you're like, it's like exhilarating and it's fun, but it's also scary, but it's just exciting. And then the ride is over. You get off stage and you're like, wow, that was amazing. I want to do it again. And when you feel like that, that's how you know comedy is for you and you need to keep going. Now, how to get to that point, everyone is different. People always ask me, like, how do I get started as a comedian? And I did the same thing. When I wanted to get started as a comedian, I asked a couple of female comedians how to get started as a comedian. One person I asked was Kim Whitley. She probably doesn't even know this. I don't even know why, but every time I see her, I don't even say nothing to her. I don't know, something about Kim Whitley be making me nervous. I just be looking at her. She probably be looking at me like, I know this girl from somewhere. How come she never says anything? One day I'll speak to her. But I remember one time, a really long time ago, I saw her at an award show. And I asked her, like, what's her advice if I wanted to become a stand-up comedian? And she told me, write 3 minutes worth of material, go to an open mic, try it out. All you need is 3 minutes. And I actually did not take that advice. Not that it wasn't good advice, because that is actually what you should do. But I went a different route, because I was looking through this book and I saw something that said comedy workshop. So I went to a comedy workshop in New York that was taught by this comedian named Clayton Fletcher. And when I say taught, let me clarify, because nobody could teach you how to be funny. Either you're funny or you're not. You know what I'm saying? But he taught the mechanics of comedy. So he taught how to, like, cut out the fluff, because a lot of people, they'll get up there talking and talking and talking. Like, bro, get to the point. you don't have to set up your joke so long. You got to set it up, punchline, boom. You know you old when you lie about your age, and your fake age is old too. So a lot of times what he would do he would just tell us to get up and start talking. Because a lot of us didn't have any material when we first got to that workshop. I wouldn't say I had material, but I had premises and topics that I wanted to work on. So he would say, get up and talk. So I would get up and talk about one of the premises that I wanted to touch on. And then I would just start talking, and people would start laughing, and he'd be like, that's great. But like the beginning part, you didn't really need all that. You cut that out. So he taught how to like trim the fat and get to the point. And what he also taught was a lot of comedy etiquette, the way to present yourself on stage, the way to behave in the comedy club. He taught, when you get on stage, you get the microphone, put the mic stand behind you. Like, a lot of people don't know like the little nuances, the little techniques. And he taught that. And he also just helped with like confidence, because when you're first starting comedy, it's terrifying to get up in front of a bunch of people you don't know and just start talking and expect them to laugh. So the workshop was like a safe space. You know what I'm saying? So you have a classroom full of people trying to do the same thing. So everybody's like supportive. You get up, you talk, and he's like, okay, that was great. Now take what you just said and trim the fat and come back up and do it again. And everybody would like take turns doing that. And we did that like once a week for 4 weeks. It was really short. And on the 4th week, we actually had compiled our comedy set. It was, I think, like 4 or 5 minutes. And we performed in a real comedy club, and everybody invited their family and friends. And that was my first taste of comedy, going up after that workshop, going on stage in front of a bunch of people, family and friends, my family and friends, and all my classmates' family and friends. And what let me know that I was on the right track with comedy was I did really, really well in the class. And when we got to our real comedy show at the comedy club, none of the comedians wanted to go up after me. They were like, don't put me up after Brooklyn. I'm not going to be able to follow her. Don't put me up after her. I ain't going to be able to follow her. Like, she's too funny. Don't put me up after her. And I was like, wow, maybe I'm good at this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people are scared to follow you, that's a clue that you're on the right track. So I ended up having to go like last or second to last, because I think maybe the teacher went up last. But I went like last in my class because nobody wanted to go up after me. And I crushed it. And I had that exhilarating feeling. And I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. So I've been doing comedy ever since. But it was hard because like I had started, but when I first started comedy, I wasn't consistent with it. So I would do it, then I wouldn't do it for a couple of weeks, and I'd do it, and then I wouldn't do it. And sometimes I would go like a couple of months. If you're a comedian and you start doing comedy, don't ever take breaks like that, because you'll get rusty. It's like a muscle. Like, when you're working out in the gym, and then you don't go for like a week, and you go back and you're like, hey, these weights feel heavier than they did before. Like, you lose some of your strength and some of your muscle mass. The same thing happens in comedy. You got to stay on top of it. That's why in LA, a lot of times you'll see like a popular comedian at some rinky-dink bar show. It's not about like money. He or she is not there to make money. They're keeping their muscles strong. They're like, I gotta get on stage. I gotta get these words out. I gotta practice. Like, it's something that you never stop practicing. Just like acting, you have to constantly go to class. Comedy, you have to constantly be on stage. So once you get your little 3 minutes, if you don't go to a workshop, I don't think Clayton Fletcher does his workshop anymore. That was in New York, and that was a really long time ago. But if you're in LA, I do know a person that does workshops. Her name is Lisa Sunstead, and she does a workshop called Pretty Funny Women. So if you're a female and you want to try comedy, I recommend going to her workshop, Pretty Funny Women. I know some successful comedians who have come out of there. So I implore you to look up Pretty Funny Women. And for the guys, I don't know any workshops for you guys, but I think Pretty Funny Women is going to start doing a workshop called Pretty Funny People. So everybody look up Lisa Sunstead on Instagram. Reach out to her about her classes, because workshops are a nice, safe way to try comedy, because you try it out at first in front of a room of supportive people, instead of just like throwing yourself cold turkey to a crowd at an open mic. But Most comedians, that's how they start. And that's how I would say, if you don't know of a workshop, write 3 minutes and go to an open mic and try it out. Now, when I say write 3 minutes, write out your material, right? If you read it straight through without pausing and it's 3 minutes long, it's too long. You have to leave space to stop, to pause, to think. Leave space for laughs. I know you're new at it and you might not get that much laughs, but assume you're going to get laughs after your punchlines. So when you write your set, make sure you leave space for laughs. So I would say make it 2.5 minutes long. If you're reading it straight through without pausing and it's 2.5 minutes long, or 2 minutes and 15 seconds, that's long enough, because you want to leave time for people to laugh. You also want to leave time to take pauses or think. Sometimes you forget your material for a second and you got to think like, wait, what was I going to say next? Now, you don't say that out loud, but you sit there and you think for a minute. You need time to do that. Now, once you start doing more comedy, after you've done your 3 minutes, you practiced it, then you'll move up to 5 minutes. So you'll add 2 more minutes to that. Then I would say make it 4 minutes long straight through. Then you have that 1 minute for pauses and waiting for laughs. So the longer your set is, make sure you leave space for laughs. Now, let's get to the open mics. When you do open mics, when you're like a super new comedian, you just started, you just wrote your little 3 minutes, don't be going to the comedy club open mics where the booker is, okay? They have like little, comedy clubs have like little rinky-dink open mics where you just go and you practice your material, like the nighttime open mics in the bar section at Flappers. I'm going to name a lot of comedy clubs that are local to me, but this could apply to ones that are local to you as well. I'm in LA, so I'm naming the ones that are in LA. But Flappers Comedy Club has like a little late night open mic that you can go to. I don't really think the booker is there. Now, there is one that the booker goes to. I think that one is on Wednesday. But what I'm saying is, when you're just starting comedy and you're just trying to see what it feels like to be on stage, to get the words out of your mouth, to see what people laugh at, what people pay attention to see what you want to change or whatever, go to like open mics at bars. Go to the small open mics, the late night open mics, the little rinky-dink open mics. Don't go to the one where the booker is, because when you're going to the mic where the booker is, you're going because you want to get past at that club. You want the booker to see you and be like, wow, that person's funny. I want to give them some real stage time. I want to book them on the show. If you're up there bullshitting, you're just going to look like a fool to the booker, and they ain't really going to want to mess with you. They're going to be like, oh, they're up here bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it's really disrespectful to the people who are there, who are serious, when you up there with some bullshit. Like, if you're not sure if you even want to be a comedian, if it's like a bucket list thing, like, oh, I've always wanted to try comedy, I think I'll go to an open mic one day and try it. Don't go to the open mic where the booker is, okay? Like the Wednesday night open mic at the Improv, don't go there with no bullshit, okay? Go to the dive bar that has open mic Mondays. Don't go to the Laugh Factory on Tuesday, okay? Because that's where serious people are going to be passed at the club. And it's so stressful and frustrating and anger-inducing when you're at the Improv on Wednesday and there's some people up there bullshitting. Like, you can tell who's up there and who's serious about their comedy career and their craft, and who's up there just BSing because they wanted to try comedy one day. And it sucks because the mic at the Improv on Wednesdays is a lottery. So a whole bunch of comedians show up. You write your name on a little ticket and you put it in a bucket. They mix it all around. And then for the next hour and a half, the host pulls names out of a bucket. Whoever's name gets pulled out of the bucket gets to go up. It's way more names than are going to get called. So you could sit there for like an hour and a half and your name is not called. So you just sat there and watched a bunch of comedians bullshit, and you might have seen like 3 or 4 who were serious and who were actually funny, but then there's a bunch of people up there just BSing, and you had to sit there and your name wasn't even called, and you're there because you're serious and you want to get past at this club so you can get booked at this club and the other locations that they have around the country, and your name didn't get called. So you just wasted your Wednesday night, an hour and a half, watching bucket list people up there BSing. You can tell I'm passionate about this subject. So I say all of that to say, if you're not ready to go on stage on a real comedy night and like knock out a 10-minute set at the Improv or at the Laugh Factory, stay your ass out of the Wednesday night open mics or whatever open mics are at your club where the booker is there looking to book people or pass them at the club. Stay your ass out of that mic. Go to Dusty's down the block or Hungry Jack's or wherever the hell the name of the nearest bar is where people do open mics, and go over there and chuckle. Go to Chuckles on Thursday afternoon for their open mic or whatever. But don't go to the serious mic until you're absolutely ready. Please. Now, once you've done your practice and you're ready to get on stage and you're ready to go to the real open mics and you're ready for the booker to see you and you're going out to comedy shows where comedians are so that you can meet the booker. Who books this? Who books this? Who books this? That's a question you'll hear a lot of comedians ask, especially if they see you're on the show and they want to be on that show. They'll be like, who books that? So when you start getting booked on shows and you're a new comedian, when you're super new, that's the dopest time to be a comedian. There's 2 dope times to be a comedian. 1, when you're super new, and 2, when you pop and you become popular and everybody loves you and wants to see you. Those are the 2 times. In between, trash. I'm in the in-between right now. And the reason I say the in-between is trash because early in your comedy career, when you're super new, all your friends and family are like, you do comedy now? Oh, snap, I got to see this. They either want to see it so they can laugh at you or laugh with you. But it don't matter why they're there. They're there. People, your family, your friends, your coworkers, they can't believe you do comedy. They really can't believe it. So they want to go see it. So when you're like super new, every time you do a comedy show, all your friends and family are there coming to see you. But once you're not new anymore, you're still new, but you're not new at it. They've been there, done that. They ain't coming to see you no more. They're like, yeah, I seen it. I heard these jokes, blah, blah, blah. That's when you're like, your family and friends are over it, but you're not famous enough where you have like a following of strangers that have come out to see you. Like your family and friends, they came to see you because they love you, right? They love you because they know you. That's why they came to see you, because they love you, because they know you. Your goal is to get people to come see you because they know you, because they love you. You know what I'm saying? Let me explain that. So your friends and family love you because they know you. They've been around you forever. They grew up with you. They work with you. They know you and they love you, right? Now, when you know somebody because you love them, let's say you watch a TV show, right? Every week you watch this show. It's actors on this show. Some of them are regulars. Some of them are day players. They come and go. You see actors on TV. They served their purpose. They did a good job. You like them on the show. But once they're not on the show no more, you don't forgot all about those people. They were on that one episode. You don't remember them. You might see them on something else, I don't know, months from now or a year from now. You don't even remember them from the episode of that show you saw. Or you might be like, where do I know her from? She look familiar, but you don't really know her, right? Then you watch a show and there's a character on that show that you freaking love. Like, yo, I freaking love this character. They make me laugh. They cute. I'm in love with them. Anything like that. Like, I freaking love this character so much to the point where I want to know, who is the actor? Who is this person? I need to know more about this person. That's how now you know them, because you love them. You saw their work. You love their work. You love their acting. You love their comedy. You love their singing or whatever they do. You love that first. You love them. So now you want to know them. You know them because you love them. That's who you want to come to see you. You want your friends and family, they come to see you. They love you because they know you. You want people to come see you because they know you, because they love you. Listen, I'm spitting. It might not sound like it makes sense. You got to sit down and think about it for a minute. That's the goal. So you got to start working your way up to getting people to love you before they even know you. Like, wow, she's funny. He's funny. I want to know more about him. You got to get people to fall in love with you so that they want to come out to see you. And that's the hard part, because people will love you, but they won't come see you. You got to get somebody to love you so much that they want to meet you. They want to breathe the same air and be in the same room as you. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part for most comedians. Because I know comedians, they got hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. Some of them might even have 1 million followers on social media. But when they do a comedy show, they're lucky if 30 people show up. Some of them have gone viral. Their videos have gone viral. People are in their house looking at their phone, yucking it up, watching their viral videos. 1 million, 2 million, 3 million views. But then they do a comedy show and they're lucky if 50 people show up. And I see them like they go on tour and they're like, man, I was in this city and ain't nobody show up. Only 10 people came. And they leave comments under my videos like, yo, when you coming to my city? When you coming here? When you coming there? And then I come out there and they don't come to see me. So it's hard out here. No matter how popular you are on the internet, that doesn't always translate to butts and seats. So a lot of us comedians out here, our goal is to get people to like us so much that they want to come and see us in person and support us in person. And a lot of us have like fans and supporters in other places, other cities and stuff, but you might not have enough. Like I might go to Timbuktu and I might have 3 people over there who really rock with me, but I need 300. And so it ain't easy out here. You need some friends. When you're new to comedy, you need friends. So if you get a new job, make friends at your job so they can come to your show. If you go to acting class, make friends at your acting class so they can come to your show. Wherever you go, make friends so they can come to your show. But it's important to network and build your social media and be consistent. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm working on now, is consistency, because that is the missing component of my career, because I've been doing comedy for a long time, but I don't have the following that I should because I haven't been consistent. So here I am, pouring out my soul, telling everybody my business. Hopefully what I have to say resonates with somebody else out there. But if you want to be a comedian, do your 3 minutes. 2.5 minutes. Get out there to the open mics. Don't be over there bullshitting at the open mics where the booker is, and get you some friends. Anyway, leave me a comment and let me know if anything I've said has been helpful to you. If you're interested in being a comedian, or if you are a comedian, you just started out, let me know where you are in your comedy journey. I would love to hear your stories and where you are in comedy. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. Please subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media. I'm on TikTok and Instagram at itsBrooklynJones. I'm also going to be going live sometimes on Instagram and probably on TikTok too. So I'd love to chat with you guys in real time. But in the meantime, like, comment, subscribe. Look at this. Look at me, y'all. I'm getting the hang of this vlogging stuff. Anyway, see y'all next time. Boom.